Do you hear it? Those screams you were hearing last night, they were not coming from Zorro Mamdani as he realized that the millionaires and billionaires he planned to confiscate money from to fund his welfare programs, those millionaires and billionaires are rapidly leaving New York City. Those screams were not coming from San Francisco as the city of rainbows continues to cry over the retirement of Granny Nancy Pelosi. The terror, the emotional pain, the outright panic. It was coming from the diva of dump divas, Kat Engelbert, as she realized that the future of her precious polished turd known as the WNBA is in serious jeopardy. Well, Casey, that is outrageous. Unrivaled is no serious threat to the WNBA. Yeah, I'm not talking about the secondary dump. Matter of fact, Unrivaled is finished. Doctors at Woke Memorial Hospital, they are giving Unrivaled no chance to survive. I'm talking about the new women's basketball league, who will be a serious threat to the future of the WNBA dump. You know, back in the 1980s, early 1990s, as Vince McMahon was expanding the WWF, one of the reasons he was able to expand was the lack of competition. Smaller promotions, they couldn't compete with his national reach. They couldn't compete with Vince McMahon financially. If a smaller promotion happened to create a major star, Vince McMahon would offer that star significantly more money and bring them to the WWF. At the time, the WWF seemed invincible. No one could compete with them. But then, a billionaire named Ted Turner bought WCW, hired a young man named Eric Bischoff, and provided him with unlimited resources. And with these unlimited resources, Eric Bischoff started offering multi-million-dollar guaranteed contracts, which was unheard of at the time. He was offering significantly more money for working less dates. Long story short, stars that were created by Vince McMahon and the WWF started migrating to WCW. Unlike the millions who were invited to migrate to America under our former fearless leader Johnny B. Biden, the dudes migrating to WCW, they were migrating legally. As a result, WCW exploded in popularity. They damn near put Vince McMahon out of business. Right now, something similar is happening to the WNBA. A former executive from Facebook and the co-founder of Skype, two dudes with plenty of zeros in their bank accounts. I'm not talking about the zeros in the bank accounts of WNBA players, which represents living in poverty. The zeros in these bank accounts are separated by several commas. These dudes, I would assume, are billionaires. They have combined their resources and they are launching a global women's basketball league. As of right now, the league is called Project B, but the name of the league is inconsequential. What matters to the WNBA is the threat. Because unlike Unrivaled, which is essentially a flea on an elephant's ass, this new league is offering WNBA players multi-million-dollar contracts, which is the equivalent of offering free cake to the Lizzo. They are going to accept it, no questions asked, which is exactly what some WNBA players have already done. They have committed to this new league and the millions of dollars that they're offering. Not pesos, not Ethiopian breadcrumbs. We're talking real dinero. The question is, can the WNBA survive? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So I can get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Farwell's Fine Woodworking. Believe it or not, Christmas right around the corner. While it's somewhat easy to buy gifts for the kids, as you get older, it gets harder to find good gifts for adults. In my experience, the best gifts for adults are the gifts given with thought. And what could be more thoughtful than one-of-a-kind, handcrafted kitchenwares from Farwell's Fine Woodworking? This is a family-owned business where each cutting and charcuterie board are handmade and built to last for generations. Unlike plastic boards, which can release microplastics into your food, boards from Farwell's Fine Woodworking, they are made from natural hardwood and finished with non-toxic oils and board butter that protects and nourishes the wood. And they are 100% safe for your food. No chemicals, no plastics, just the beauty of real wood made safe for your family and your kitchen table. Choose craftsmanship, choose health, and choose something that's handmade, not by machine. By clicking the link in the description below, use my promo code BTL10. Receive 10% off your first purchase with Farwell's Fine Woodworking. Headline at Front Office Sports. Project B is offering WNBA stars multi-million-dollar contracts. I guess Uncle KC and Front Office Sports have different definitions of the word stars. When I see a headline like this, I'm assuming they're talking about Caitlin Clark. I'm assuming Bayou Barbie or Me Bound Barbie or one of the dozens of aliases that Angel Reese has given herself. I'm assuming the self-proclaimed Barbie has signed with Project B. According to Front Office Sports, Nneka Ogwumike, who I guess is a huge star, Nneka Ogwumike became the first player to sign a multi-million-dollar contract with Project B. Now, in her defense, this is not some scrub. This isn't some end-of-the-bench player. Nneka Ogwumike is the president of the WNBA Players Union. With a little bit of money, Project B has already recruited the leader of the Players Union. Well, Uncle KC, who are these other stars? Is it Kelsey the Plumber? What about AJ Wilson? She's fantastic! Last month, AJ led her team to the WNBA Finals and won off-season access to the Platinum Pooper. Wowzer! AJ's great! Yeah, I don't know if Asia Wilson is interested yet in signing with Project B. Unfortunately, the other stars mentioned by Front Office Sports are simply named Other. They said other WNBA players have agreed to contracts with Project B. Since their names aren't mentioned, I'm assuming they're unknown. I'm assuming Front Office Sports has never heard of them. All kidding aside, this is a serious threat to the WNBA. Project B is starting WNBA players at $2 million a year. Earnings from multi-year contracts could reach 8 figures. But KC, I heard Project B is a winter league. Their season will run from November to April. How is that a serious threat to the WNBA dump? Think about it. For starters, more than likely, there's not going to be a season next year in the dump since they can't come to an agreement on a new CBA. The 2026 WNBA season likely to be canceled. But let's just assume for a second that an agreement on a CBA is reached. Let's assume for a second that the WNBA gives in to the unreasonable demands from WNBA players and they offer they offer $1 million annual contracts. Which deal would you accept? Project B is offering minimum salaries of $2 million a season. The WNBA would potentially offer maximum salaries of $1 million a season, meaning most WNBA players, the vast majority of WNBA players, they would not come close to reaching a max contract of $1 million a year. But KC, they could play in both leagues. They could play in Project B during the winter and the WNBA during the summer. Why in the hell would they do that? Why would they risk injury? Why would they risk missing out on an 8-figure contract to make significantly less money in the WNBA? According to Front Office Sports, the WNBA is looking at Project B with curiosity. Yeah, translation: the WNBA is worried. The WNBA is terrified. And they should be worried, because this is a serious threat to the future of pretend basketball. You know who else should be worried? Napheesa Collier, Bree Stu, TNT, along with the investors who donated millions of dollars to Unrivaled. Project B will put Unrivaled out of business. Unrivaled is offering players $200,000-$300,000 a season. Project B will be a direct competitor because their seasons will run simultaneously. But Unrivaled is offering players equity in the league. Unrivaled is all about equity and, more importantly, unity. Yeah, no one gives a shit about unity when millions of dollars are involved. Not to mention the fact that Project B is also offering players equity in the league. Initially, the problem Project B is going to run into is the availability of players. 30 players are under multi-year contracts with Unrivaled. However, with Project B being backed by what I assume to be billionaires, I don't think buying out these contracts are going to be a problem, but there is one other problem with Project B. This is going to be a global league. There aren't too many details yet, so we don't know what that fully means. As of right now, they're saying that they're going to host tournaments throughout the world from November to April. Now, in the past, WNBA players have expressed concerns about traveling globally for obvious reasons. I mean, their hero, Bob Griner, was detained for months in Mother Russia because she tried to smuggle magic grass into the country. But either way, this is a serious threat to the WNBA. Unlike Unrivaled, Project B has the resources to compete. If they are offering 8-figure contracts, why would anyone remain in the WNBA dump? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.